Okay, today I want to show you how I fashioned a light table. I'm an artist. My background is in print advertising as a graphic designer, but I also work in different medias, from designing and building furniture and also jewelry, fashion as well. And it doesn't stop there, but those are the basics for me. But what I've done, I've just taken this glass Pyrex baking pan and put it upside down over this basket. And in the basket, I have this little glass holding my little flashlight. Okay, and see, we'll turn it on. You put it in, and you're ready to go. One problem I have run into is there's some embossed writing that gets in the way. So when I put my design on I'm working with, I just kind of work around that. So I don't really tend to put the light in dead center. I offset it. So, you know, it's a small price to pay though for a simple freebie like this. I'll show you what I'm working on. It's actually a tattoo design that I've had in mind for 5 years now. And last year I put it on paper, and since then, in the past week, I have paid my artist in full. I'm very happy with his style of work, and I have sought high and low for the right artist to do it. But I'm working through some of the design and am currently refining it. The design, the tattoo artist called Little Dragons, but I was calling them prehistoric birds, and it started out as a sparrow, right? And I'll show you the original and how it evolved. And I wanted my sparrow to be more fantasy with a crest on his head. But then I didn't want this little berry-picking beak. I wanted the beak of a raptor, which is hooked. And raptors are predators, and they hunt prey. And the hook-like beak is for ripping off flesh. And then the tail of the sparrow, and I love the split tail, became more elongated, and then it was becoming more serpent-like. And so it wasn't looking anything like a sparrow anymore at all. But I'll show you what we started out with and how it evolved. Okay. I've also been playing with different sizes. Okay. It started out like this cute little bird, right? And sparrows tend to be chubby, so I made mine a little bit more sleek, but when it got elongated, it was becoming more serpent-like. I was playing around with different things, and you can see how he still has the little berry-pecking beak here, but the crest on the head. Oops, my puppy's moving the camera. Wishbone, the Adorabella. And then I was playing around with different effects like the wispy-like wings. And it kept evolving and going from there. And before you know it, I ended up with this. So you can see the raptor beak, the crest on the head, bat-like wings, the elongated tail, but split like the sparrow. And there are 3 of them in flight. This is very symbolic for me, actually, as most tattoos are for people, especially when they design them themselves. It's not like something you go down and pick off a wall on a whim or when you're drunk, you know? But 3 in the course of history have been very symbolic, especially in the East Indian culture. I say East Indian to offset it from American Native Indian. And I'm a blend of both, by the way. But 3, it's been very symbolic over the course of time, and also in paganism as well as Christianity. You know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I always want to say ghost, and they scold you. It's not ghost, damn it. In paganism, it's been associated with the goddess, the mother, the maiden, the crone, also the full moon. The full moon has several phases. You have the waxing moon, the waning moon, and the new moon. And with the new moon, you do not see it for 3 days. In the Indian culture, you will see depicted a 3-headed elephant, which is, it has to do with all-encompassing wisdom and insight, as if you see clearly to the past, the present, and also the future. And the elephant ties in with Ganesh. She is the son of Lord Shiva and goddess Kali, the androgynous god and goddess. Goddess Kali, she is one of the most badass, fuck you up kind of goddesses out there, and I really appreciate we have like a very powerful female figure, and she hasn't been portrayed as this little weakling. And in Jamaica, they will call like really badass killer weed Kali, for in reference to goddess Kali. And ganja is also an Indian word that was taken to Jamaica many, many moons ago, and is a very ancient old Sanskrit word meaning cannabis. Cannabis has long been known for its medicinal effects, and I look forward for the day when they legalize it for both recreation and medicinal in the state of Florida, and it's not criminalized. There are 0 deaths from marijuana, and we cannot say the same about pills, which have killed more people in a year, they say, than street drugs, murders, and car accidents combined. And that's people taking it according to doctor's prescription, their pill-pushing quacks. That's another video. Okay, here's another tattoo design I'm working on. By the way, the birds in flight are going on my wrist. A friend of mine who died recently, unfortunately, drowning in a rip current here a few months back. When he saw my bird design, he called it an Archaeopteryx. And at that time, I was reading Charles Darwin's Origin of the Species, where he started talking about this prehistoric reptile-like bird called an Archaeopteryx. So I looked it up, and there it was, except it wasn't as sleek as my design, and it had a chunkier tail, more like an alligator than a serpent. This design is an ankle wrap I'm working on, and it is a cryptic language written by a Hungarian poet and Zen Buddhist who lives in a monastery in Budapest. And we used to correspond. He's very interesting. But he designed this cryptic language to write in secrecy in his diary. And he did confide in me, sharing some of the things he wrote about, and it's actually pretty dark and heavy. And I appreciate he worked with me on helping develop this tattoo. And this will be a wrist, or an ankle wrap that overlaps. So instead of meeting up like this, it's going to meet up like this. Actually, a lot like my serpent ring here, this snake. And this was given to me by one of my dad's girlfriends many moons ago when I was a little girl, 10 years old. I'm 45 now. And she was from Bogota, South America. And she gave this to me because I complimented her on it. And then the eye is a ruby inset, and one of the eyes is missing the ruby. Let me show you my drafting table I designed and built and painted the top. It's actually cement board, 2 1/2-inch cement board mortared together, and I taped the seams around the edges and cemented over that so it looked like a thick solid piece. Let's move stuff over here and give you a look at what I came up with. Okay. It is a bleeding Jesus, and I added nipple rings on him that are bleeding. I know, sacrilegious. I'm gonna burn in hell, so pray for me. And I did this metallic paint with a gradation of color and some stenciling on the corners. And I built the table using copper plumbing pipe, with the copper elbow joints and T-joints and little feet caps. And here's a cameo appearance with Wishbone the Adorabella. She's 9 months and just became a woman. She started her period. Her teats are a little bigger and her cookie's puffy. And I found blood on the bed. She's a woman now. If you're old enough to breed, if you're old enough to bleed, you're old enough to breed. Here is some of the incense burner or incense holders I've made, and I've embellished them with embossed brass and copper wire, and also some aventurine stone. And I really appreciate the metaphysical properties of metals, crystals, stones. I'm obsessed with all of these things, especially metals and alloys. This bottle design is, well, I do shibari bondage, and I figured if this diamond pattern would work on a body, it would work on a bottle. And I also designed this this holder out of the copper wire as well, and attached the glass Italian beads to it. So this is what I have come up with, and this is how I enjoy spending my time. I have a burning desire to create things, and I always have, and I've been very disappointed with mass-produced, unoriginal, landfilled shit. And they're charging a lot for shit these days, and it's starting to feel so normal for people, they don't even realize they're getting screwed. This is a necklace I made out of hemp jewelry with some brass beads, ceramic beads, and also horn. I like to work with natural materials, bone, leather, crystals. I also attached some hematite to this crystal with the copper wire. And on the back, let's see, if you can see, I like to do these decorative dangler attachments, which are pretty on their own from the back view. Okay, so thank you for watching my video, and you too can make your own light table without spending any money. You probably have everything you need right there in your house. Real quick, let me show you a graphic designer trick we use in productions, and it's called registration, and it helps you line up your design, like when you're tracing something or overlapping. Do you see how I've made these little X's? Okay. What I do when I put my paper on top, my blank paper I need to trace or draw on, I will make X's and line them up. That way if the two pages get separated, I can line up the X's and have it be just perfectly aligned. And it's best to do at least 3, not 2. You can, but it's just better for more accuracy if you do 3. In graphic design for print production, we use 4 though on all the corners. And that's been done for many, many, many moons. One thing about this, my fan is blowing my paper everywhere, so I have to like weigh it down with something. And it can be a pain in the butt. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in. Please write in with any of your own tips and tricks with how you produce art, and to show people they really don't have to go out and buy expensive equipment and things like that. And with a little creativity, which you should have as an artist, you really can come up with effective ways of doing things. Thank you, and bye-bye.